So, good morning everybody. Welcome to another Monday morning assembly, our fourth one after the Easter holidays in lockdown. And I've started here this week with the pictures of your teachers, and I hope that last week you had a chance to see the video that they put together with all their messages of hoping that you're being safe and that you're looking after yourselves and they can't wait to see you eventually. So if you haven't had a chance to go and watch that video, pop along to Standens Barn TV, you'll find it on there, you'll be able to open it up and play it and listen to all the different things the teachers had to say to you. And I think on there as well there's also some of our teaching assistants and some other people who've also managed to get their messages across as well, so go and have a look and you'll find that on Standens Barn TV. But we do hope that you are well as usual. I hope that you've woken up and it's been a good week and you've had a fantastic week. And whether you're watching this first thing in the morning, whether you're out of your pyjamas yet, whether you've watched Joe Wicks or you haven't, or Pacesetters or something else, then I hope that everything is fine wherever you may be. Once again, here is another look at some of the work that has been going on across the school. It's just brilliant when we get to see this. I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to feel connected to the work that you're doing, that we've set you, or to the ideas that you're coming up with by yourselves. But here we have children going on a bug hunt for those that have been into the school last week. We've got designs here of different lighthouses based on the work that's been set. We've also got some wonderful imaginative fossil creative ideas going down in the left hand corner, where people have been really imaginative about how to show a fossil. And the final one is someone who's had a go at baking something that I really like, called tiffin. And what's lovely is it's great to see different things having a go at doing those things, because actually this is a chance where maybe you've got the time to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily have the time to do. Things like baking, playing board games, maybe catching up on a film as a whole family. And those things are going to be just as important as the work that we are sending out to you as well. So it's lovely to see such an array of things going on, such different ideas that are happening in your homes. Please keep sending them in, because we absolutely enjoy seeing them. And also, maybe over the weekend you had a chance to celebrate the VE Day and the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II, and maybe you made some bunting and you hang it up, maybe you had some Union Jacks up, maybe you sat outside your front door and just shared in a little safe party with the people who were nearest to you. Or whatever you did, I hope that it was a chance for you to just maybe smile and wave at the people who live near you and celebrate the end of World War II. And talking of trying to stay connected, these started to crop up last week. Now I think it's Mrs. Shipley who might be responsible. I've been trying to track it down on Twitter. But this little design came about from a lady called Mrs. Darlington, who's known at Mrs. Darl on Twitter. She put together the template, and I think Mrs. Shipley's had a go at completing it. The first one saying stay safe, the second one saying we're all in this together, and drawing little pictures of people who are important and images of things that have been going on or things that have been happening maybe where you are. I'm going to try and get hold of this and then try and email it out to you, and you might have a go. You might have a go at thinking, who will I put in the window and what will my message be? What do I want to say? And if you do, then please send them back in to us, because it would be wonderful to be able to celebrate all the different things that you're thinking and doing and the people that are important to you. Because we are all in this together, and staying connected is going to be a vitally important thing that happens for our own well-being, and making sure we're looking out for each other, and as I've said before, making sure that we're showing thoughtful, and that we are able to be kind and considerate to each other, and seeing what we can do to help each other as we stay in this lockdown phase. So I will try and get this image sent out to you for you to have a go at, and if you do it, it would be wonderful for you to send it in so that we can see the things that you've been doing and the messages that you would like to give. Now, last Friday you might have had the joyous event of watching the Standens Barn Primary School virtual pet show hosted by Mrs. James. Again, if you haven't seen this, pop along to Standens Barn TV. It's on YouTube where you can see all the different entries. My favourite one being where pets resemble real life characters. I can think there's a Tigger up there who's one of my favourites. But if you didn't get a chance to see this, then please go along and watch it. And thank you very much to all those who sent in their pictures and their little bits of writing about the pets that are important to you and why they're important, because it really is things like this that will help keep us connected and stay in touch with each other and to share in what's going on in each other's homes and houses as we try and stay in this lockdown period. So well done, thank you very much if you submitted an entry. Pop along and watch the video because it is truly brilliant, with our very own Mrs. James hosting that. And I think it's also on Facebook. So if your mums and dads have a Facebook account, then they can go along there and they can watch the assembly and the virtual pet show at the same time. Now, because we are in the 4th week, I thought it was important to maybe talk about this. And you've heard me talk about idioms before, where we say a group of words, but they have a meaning, they have an extra meaning hidden within them. And this week is run out of steam. And when we say someone has run out of steam, it means that they've lost their energy or their ideas, their interest or their enthusiasm, and actually they just can't carry on anymore. They find it hard to carry on. And actually you might be reaching that point. You might be reaching that point where 4 weeks in now it's hard to just stay at home and carry on doing your schoolwork. And it's hard to try and stay at home and not fall out with each other in your house. Those things happen. This week I've found it becoming more noticeable when I seem to be saying the phrase, just put it back where you found it. It seems to be something that is starting to get through and irritate me somewhat as the weeks go on. But we've all got to find our way through. And what we've got to do is think, if I am running out of steam, what can I do about it? How can I keep myself going? Because this is not easy what we're having to do. It's important and it's vital that we do it, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And one of the things that will happen is that we could easily run out of steam. Now, there have been lots of words of hope this week to try and help us with this idea that we might run out of steam. You might have seen the Queen talking to the nation on Friday evening. And I think some of the words she said are really important, and they should really be important to us too. Because she said, today it may seem hard that we cannot mark this special anniversary as we would wish. Instead, we remember from our homes and from our doorsteps. But our streets are not empty. They are filled with the love and care that we have for each other. And when I look at our country today and see what we are willing to do to protect and support one another, I say with pride that we are still a nation that those brave soldiers, sailors and airmen would recognise and admire. And I think what she said is true for her across the whole of the country, and for us within our school I have to say the same thing. I could not be more proud of how everyone is coping, and from the messages and from the information that we have about how well you're all doing at home. And actually I think it's very true. We are really showing how thoughtful we can be, and that we are looking after each other and one another, despite how hard it is. And I think that's a real credit to each and every one of you. The Queen said, to sum it up, never give up, never despair. And it's vitally important that we follow that we do not give up right now, and we do not end up despairing that this is hard. We have got to try and not run out of steam, and we have to try and keep going. Last week, as well as the Queen sending out a message, the Archbishop of Canterbury also sent out a message. He sent out a message of hope, and he talked a lot about Nelson Mandela, a man who was locked up in prison. And he turned around and said that all through that time of being locked up, he never lost hope. And the Archbishop of Canterbury defined hope as having patience, positivity, and keeping going under pressure. And these are all things that we are going to have to do this week. We do not want to run out of steam. We have to keep going, and we have to keep being positive. And those words are important. But what's more important is that we work out how we're going to do it. It can be easy to say, let's just keep going, let's just keep going. But we also have to understand how we're going to do it. And some of you will recognise this from assemblies that we've already done in school this year. The zones of regulation, where we understand how we're feeling, and then what we can try and do to help us move from one zone to the other. We know about the blue zone, where we can start to feel sluggish and slow and not have as much enthusiasm. This is where we can begin to run out of steam. We might also go into the frustration, anxiety, excitement, silliness, nervousness, and start to not be brave. We can also end up in the red zone, where we've completely lost control, not able to be brave, enthusiastic, safe or thoughtful. We might end up arguing, fighting and refusing to do what we are told. And ultimately where we want to end up is in the green zone, back in control, able to be brave, enthusiastic, safe and thoughtful. So keep thinking. If you are in the blue and you can feel yourself heading to the yellow or to the red, what can you do to get back to the green zone? What can you do to overcome it? We will all make mistakes, that will happen. And so much of making mistakes is being able to apologise and say sorry to those that we may have hurt. And therefore, what you will need to do is try and be brave at this time. Now, I think it comes back to this, and I know I've been talking about this wheel all the way through since this started. But this is really important. We have to take mindful moments. We need to connect with each other. We need to stay active and physically active and mentally active. We need to find things that are new, and we need to give to others by being thoughtful. These are going to be really, really important things. And I don't think there's a way of doing it without holding on to these ideas. So when you are feeling that you're moving into the blue zone or the red zone, then just stop and think, what can I do? Maybe I need to go and take some time out and just go and listen to some music, play a game, maybe do a jigsaw, go and do some baking. Maybe you need to just pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody. Maybe it's a bit of time away on your own. Maybe it's time to go out and do some exercise. Have a think what you can do. Because this week we really, really do not want to run out of steam, because we really, really need to keep going. And so this week, it's not enthusiastic, it's not safe, it's not thoughtful that we're going to think about. This week we're going to think about being brave. Brave to carry on. Brave to keep the challenges going. To carry on trying to do our best with our schoolwork. Our best of staying at home with our parents and brothers and sisters and other family members. And brave that when things are going wrong, we can find a way to work our way out of it. Use the wheel that was given to us by the Life Education bus and just stop and think, what can I do? It may sound simple, but do you know what? Sometimes just a smile and a thank you can go a long way. And they might be the brave acts that you try and do this week. I'm sure there will be many, many others, and it will be brilliant to hear about all the different things you've done to try and stay brave and have a brave week and not run out of steam. Let us know how you've been getting on. I wish you all the best for the coming week, and I will see you again next Monday. Bye for now.